We're doing a round 2 here, folks, for 2 reasons. One, to improve the quality of our podcast. Like I said, I don't want to plan a lot out when I do this because I kind of like doing it better, step by step, and evolving and realizing or discovering what we need to do and change. A lot of people do this on Skype and Zoom, and that's how they do their podcasts. Neither one of us was happy with what we got last time, even though we tortured you with 20 straight minutes of banter, if you will. But Dave had this idea for the website, Amateur Renaissance Man. You sent an email here that a couple of things that you want to maybe do on the website on your feed in the vlog, or the blog, whatever.
Okay, so you're already kind of screwing it up, which, Matt, I'm not surprised. I get it. But these are topics, and then I've got channels that I would like to add, or like sections of the website. Do you understand what CRISPR is?
I don't.
Okay, well, let me explain it to you real quick and to the audience at home. So CRISPR, raise your hand if you've heard of CRISPR. See, yeah. See, Matt, you're the only one who doesn't know what this is. But just for Matt's benefit, CRISPR is a new technology where they take enzymes, special enzymes, and you put them in with the DNA, and you can program these enzymes to cut, like scissors, the DNA exactly where you want it. So this, please tell me you've heard of the Chinese baby that was genetically modified.
I did. It was just a really recent thing that happened last week. He did it illegally or something like that.
Right. And the only way he could have done this was the CRISPR technology, which has been out for about 3 years, maybe more, less than 5 years. And so this technology has been sitting there. People have been doing ethical things with it, amazingly ethical things. My ex-sister-in-law, in fact, does tons of stuff with tobacco plants and fish, and she's trying to cure diseases. And this guy in China took this CRISPR technology and did this to the baby. And the problem is he has no idea. The baby's, first of all, only one of the twin girls is immune to AIDS, supposedly. But in tweaking that section of DNA, we have no idea what has happened.
Right.
I mean, it could be that if you're immune to AIDS, your eyeballs grow in the back of your head. I mean, we don't know, right? So that's why it's so controversial, because it's a crapshoot. These girls, people will be watching them for the rest of their lives, waiting for weird things to start growing out of their heads, and so it's sad. But that's that topic.
Did they use that with tobacco?
Yeah, well, tobacco, the funny thing there was, it wasn't a banned substance, so that's why The Simpsons, they made a bundle off of that. I mean, it's tomatoes and it's tobacco.
I thought you said it tasted terrible. It does, but it's smooth and mild. And refreshingly addictive.
So let's move on. The next topic, I think, is driverless cars, and like, what's that going to mean, and cashless societies, and all of that, like, highbrow, cerebral bull bung.
Maybe it's highbrow and cerebral, but it's totally relevant to the average Joe.
It's happening.
Look, driverless cars are so stupid. I like driving. I want to drive.
No, they're not.
I'm not going to let my car take me to the golf course while I read.
But here's the problem. It's not up to you, man. Mark my words. In 10 years' time, if you want to be a hold-up curmudgeon technotard, which is actually my prediction for you, and say, I'm going to drive my own car, your insurance company will say, that's fine, Matt. You pay 20 grand a year. Whereas I come in and say, I don't even want to touch the wheel. I pay 1 grand a year. So the insurance companies are going to dictate, not through legislation, but through the price they charge for insurance. If you want the ability to grab the wheel, you're going to pay dearly, because that's how accidents happen. So you won't have a choice.
Okay, but what if I'm in the Smoky Mountains on a sleety night, and I'm going down a curvy road that has no lights on it? I have to just hope my car gets me to the moonshine stand, because that's where I'm going.
You could look at it that way, right? You could look at it that way, or you could look at it as that car is your only hope to get there.
Why can't they just have both? People that want to do it and people that want to have their hands on the damn wheel.
They will. What I'm telling you is, it's America. The option will be there, but you won't, because it'll cost you so much for insurance.
Okay.
Humans are what cause all these problems, man. Machines won't do that. I mean, granted, there'll be There'll be a burn-in period for several years where multiple people will die in horrific accidents. But that same thing happened with the gas combustion engine, right? This burn-in early adopters who are like thrill seekers will work this stuff out, but in 10 years, you won't even think about it.
That's interesting shit, but you're always for that kind of stuff. I'm a little bit more skeptical.
No, you're missing my point.
I guess I did.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what you and I think. The insurance companies are going to make the decision for us.
Okay, if it doesn't matter what we think, why can we vote, and why do you want to go to Congress? To make a difference. All this stuff is voted on. Who's making these decisions?
Okay, you jump the shark to the global set of issues outside of driverless cars. In the topic of driverless cars, the decision for you to take the wheel will be made for you by the insurance company charging you 10 grand a year for insurance or 1,000 a year for insurance.
You don't think there'll be any legislation on this in Congress about whether will be allowed to do that?
Yes, there will be legislation, but my guess is the insurance lobbies, MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Drivers, you name it, they're going to line up to say, get the human being out from behind.
Okay, if it really works, then I'm for it. Okay?
It does.
Okay, well then
they've
I'm for
logged
it.
millions of miles already. Tesla comes with driverless capability.
Yeah, and you know what people do when they do it? They go right off a cliff. I read stories about it all the time.
I think there's been 2 Tesla deaths, and there's been a couple of Google fender benders, and there's, I think, also been an Uber death. But it's a handful. And we're learning as we go.
Right, just like this podcast, folks. We're learning as we go, and I'm learning.
Right.
I don't want Dave to be in it anymore. No, I'm just kidding.
What are you talking about? Dave is a great guy. I think you're a piece of shit over there. Come on. Okay, so movie and porn reviews. Let's do our own freaking movie reviews. You know, and the porn was a joke, but there's no reason that we couldn't. Like, there's the new movie out. What is it? A Star Is Born. You and I are closet musicians. From a closet musician standpoint, is Lady Gaga better than Barbara Walters?
Barbara Streisand.
Streisand? Yeah. Is she better than Barbara Streisand? Is her nose bigger or smaller?
And no kitties are sweeping. That's my Barbara Walters impression. Well, I don't know what she sings in A Star Is Born, but...
So that was my idea with the site. I want to help you round out cool things that you know, us amateur Renaissance man want to be good at. You do fishing, you do golf. Those are great topics, and those are yours because you lived on a lake, you know, all of your life, a cottage anyway.
Some of these things I'm trying to resurrect now that I'm not in the city anymore. My first instinct, of course, was one of the things that I really gravitated to being up here was that there's nature around and I could do all the stuff and get away from all the bars and all the partying and the mess and the noise and the
and grow
madness.
Grow up, essentially.
Well, you can be grown up in New York City, but you just have to stay away from the bars. And I love New York City, and I had a great time in it for many, many, many years. And if I was single, I'd probably still be living there. 2
other channel ideas that are ongoing. One is politics, and I think that's me.
One of the things, though, that I was trying to keep politics out of the website, you're more than welcome to do it. But for me, I want to be apolitical because I want people from all walks of life to be able to enjoy the website. And everything's so polarized now.
You're right. You want this to be a happy channel. But we need to get to the discourse of being able to talk about this stuff without losing our shit. So the idea is on this channel, we don't take sides. And in fact, we could bring in a conservative person to banter it back and forth with us.
Oh boy, I think it's going to be impossible for it to not get acrimonious.
I understand. The last one is I want to write a book. I've always wanted to write a book and I've got some ideas.
Is there a hobbit in it?
No.
You're kidding?
No.
Elves?
There's no hobbit, there's no elves. I won't tell you about the idea yet. I got a couple of them that I'm working on.
You have grown up.
What does it take to write a book?
A lot of work.
Right? We all kind of know. But what are the specifics? Do you publish it? Do you publish yourself? So I want to kind of go through that journey and blog about it along the way. So the idea is like us amateur Renaissance men, you know, one of the things that we all go through is a midlife crisis, every one of us. And it's either dramatic and disastrous, or it could be almost just like indigestion and you're done with it. Right. But the thing that drives it most of the time is you expect to be this great person, either a rock and roll star, a movie star, an author, and in your case, the male flamenco dancer, which I thought was great. But you looked in the mirror and you said, you know what, I can't do this. So as an amateur Renaissance man, I know that I probably can't write a best-selling book, but could I try? And I've always told you this. The magic is in the effort.
Right.
Just trying is where the magic is going to come from. So you got to start. Right.
To see the process. See, you know me, so you're totally tuned into what this is about, or kind of like what I'm thinking without me having to really explain it. What I'm doing, like when I post, say I took my golf swing analysis from Top Speed Golf, and I talked about it a little bit because I couldn't download the audio from the Golf Pro for some reason. It didn't come with the video. The point is, I talked about it, and it works better that way because then I can talk about like what I'm learning. And I make a point. This is not in any way, shape, or form a golf lesson. If you have maybe a higher handicap than me, maybe there's something that you can take from it. But this is about watching the progress, hopefully, of me lowering my handicap. And my goal, my long-term goal, is to break 70 before I croak. Who knows if I'll ever get there.
Yeah, we're all on the sidelines waiting for your testicles to distend. So, yeah, we get it. We're there with you.
Distend? What do you mean?
Yes.
I don't understand.
Look it up.
You mean descend?
Drop.
I know, Dave. I mixed up. I thought you meant as I get older and my balls get longer. You're saying as I actually become a boy or a man. Like I'm still waiting for my nuts to come down.
And your testicles are still up in your gut somewhere. Both figuratively and literally. So, another one I wanted to do is writing a song. Because again, this website is a little bastion of, you know, I'm a man and I'm going to take pleasure in that. And I'm going to do manly things like fish and smoke cigars. And how do you pick a good cigar? How do you pick a good wine?
Perfect.
And in terms of
love it.
In terms of music, how does one write a song? There's a lot of guys out there that play guitar flawlessly, but they don't necessarily know the mechanics of writing a song because they either haven't tried it or, you know, whatever. But that could be another thing we do. It's like, because you and I write songs like they're going out of style, and to us it comes naturally, but to some of the other Renaissance bros out there,
right,
they may find it quite interesting.
Right, and I think there's a lot of people out there, because, you know, one of the things that I talked about with Gil the first time is that everybody's going online and looking for expertise and tips, and everybody's a proclaimed expert on something.
Proclaimed expert.
Some of them are.
And we're self-proclaimed idiots on this channel.
Right.
Yeah, we just do it for fun, and why not, if you're going to do it, why not try to learn to do it right?
Exactly, and enjoy it while you're doing it, you know?
Enjoy it.
Like, right. I think that I swung the golf club the best that I ever have at end of fall at Hudson Hills golf course. And listen, my dad, he shot a 68 at age 76. Now, I couldn't believe that because I was like, really?
Right.
But he's not the type of guy that's going to be taking putts and mulligans and saying that he shot a 68. So I thought to myself, if he could do that, I think I can do that. It's a lofty goal, but I think it's within my ability. And my golf coach last summer, my online coach, said, judging by the current swing I had, he's surprised that I never have broken 70. So he's never seen me putt.
From the land of sky blue waters, something, 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 sea. Something, 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 something. Hams will be refreshing. Hams will be refreshing. Hams. Drink hams. By the way, I'm a poor divorced man. Hams is, for a case of 30, $11. For a case of 30. That's why I drink it. Yeah, it's a little bit like making love in a canoe.
Fucking close to water.